Right now, you're listening to the Championship Absolute Football Banter podcast, where we discuss upcoming fixtures, weekly match results, the table, all the clubs, and everything else. Right now, please welcome your hosts, Danny May, Tyler Tarft, Carl May, Dan McGee, Ash White, Ashley Slight, and other special guests. Sit back and enjoy.
Right then, guys, welcome back to another podcast on the channel. Today I'm joined by two Brentford fans and shortly should be joined by a Middlesbrough fan as well. I'm Tyler, your host. I'm a Derby fan. I'm joined by Andy Scales, a Brentford fan, and Dan McGee, another Brentford fan. How are we, boys?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
Not too bad, thank you. Not too bad.
Good. So this is going to be mainly a preview for the big one, the playoff final on Saturday. But let's take a look again at Bournemouth versus Brentford in the playoff semi-finals. You know, the first leg was a 1-0 win to Bournemouth. And I think that was always going to be the case. But the second one, Brentford managed to pull it back and they won 3-1. Andy, you know, sort of review them games for us and just talk us through how, you know, what it was like. Just go through it and review it for us, you know.
Well, the first leg at Bournemouth, you know, I'm glad it was only 1-0 because many a time we've always come back from 1-0. I had a feeling, as long as it wasn't 2-0, I was still happy with losing 1-0 to Bournemouth away because I had a good feeling we could turn it around. Fans being back, 4,000 for the home leg is definitely going to push the team on. So I wasn't really down in the dumps when we lost the first leg 1-0 because I thought, right, we're at home now. We've got it all to play for. I'm sure we can turn it around. And the guys done great when they did play them in the second leg.
Yeah. And do you think Brentford like the chase? Do you think, you know, it probably suits you better to go 1-0 down and having something to go at in the second leg? Because you did the same last year in the semi-finals.
Exactly, yeah, and exactly the same score as well, like 3-1 in the end. So, sorry, it was 3-2, wasn't it? No, I don't fear them when they're losing 1-0. I don't like them to go 1-0 down, but, you know, they don't give up hope. They don't panic. They carry on playing their football like they know they can play. On their day, Brentford, if they're on form, they can turn anyone over in the Championship. You know, they just can't. They got to be up for it. They really got. Don't freeze. You know, just be calm. They work their way into a game, build and build as the game goes on, and they end up doing the business most of the time.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about Brentford, but you know, whatever Thomas Frank's discussions are at halftime and whenever he needs to, he does it right because, you know, I think during lockdown you've seen him when he's come on with the board, and I know a lot of fans hate it, but whatever their tactics are that Thomas Frank does, it works, and as long as it does work, that's all that matters, you know.
Oh, most certainly, yeah.
Dan, we'll come to you next, Dan McGee. Do you want to just review, you know, the semi-finals for us?
Well, I was one of the unlucky ones not to get a ticket there. But, you know, I went to a pub in Brentford called the Griffin, and I have to say, great atmosphere there as well. I was so glad I was in Brentford watching the game. To be honest, I was so confident because, like we were all saying the week before, gave our score predictions. Mine was 3-1. It just almost gave me a flashback of what happened with Swansea last season when we played them in the playoffs. I was so confident going into the game against Bournemouth. Maybe my confidence was a little bit, maybe kicked a little bit when they scored such an easy goal by a lack of defensive awareness from our corner. I had no doubt at all that we'd go on and win it because when we like to chase, Believe me, you do not want to play us when we have to chase something.
Yeah. And I think the fans being back in the stadium was massively important. You know, you were watching it on telly and the fans were they were really egging them on, especially, you know, when Bournemouth got the red card and Brentford got 2 goals, all of a sudden, you know, it was like the fans knew they was getting that bit of hope, and everyone's hearts at that point was probably racing. So I think the fans being there was really did have an impact. Dan, mate, welcome to the podcast. Nice for you to join us.
Cheers, thank you.
Obviously, we're just discussing the playoff semi-final. Obviously, Bournemouth won the first leg 1-0. Second leg, though, you know, different story. Do you want to talk us through your thoughts of it? 3-1 Brentford win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously going into the second leg with a 1-0 lead for Bournemouth. I was the same as Dan. Dan was pretty confident, even going in with a 1-0 defeat. Yeah, and you can't take it away from Brentford when they've had to chase the game. At any point of the season, they've always produced the goods. They deserve to be where they are. I don't know. I mean, you know, Bournemouth did deserve to be where they were, but you know, they didn't have the determination, the guts, and the desire to reach the final. So for me, it's well deserved. Brentford have, you know, played well all season, so there's them. They deserve it. They deserve it quite more than Bournemouth, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think Brentford really did show the fight, whereas Bournemouth, they I think coming with Woodgate as well. I don't think Woodgate maybe had tactics to deal with Brentford's style of play on Saturday, but we'll come to you, Andy. This has to be one of Brentford's biggest game in history of Brentford, and I'm sure you'd agree. But how do the players and how do the team sort of cope? And, you know, how do they go into the game? How do they calm the nerves down?
They know what to do. I mean, the disappointment last year, losing to Fulham in the final again, this year is just, I don't know, it just feels so much different. I think they're going to be up for it. They're going to be more hungry for it. After losing last season in the final, I think this time around, they've been there, they know what they've got to do. I think they just got to go out all guns blazing and go for it. And I think, I don't know, not just because I'm a Brentford fan, I just really think they'll do it this season. I think come Saturday, I don't know, it's just, you know, it's meant to happen. I mean, we've been so unlucky over so many years in playoff finals, but this year, I think it's got to be our time. Lady Luck's got to shine on us sooner or later, and I think it'll be this year.
Yeah, and I think Thomas Frank would have also learned from last season. You know, with him staying with you for the seasons, it'd have probably learned a lot off last season going into this one. And I think, you know, recruitment at Brentford's been so good. You know, you've got Ollie Watkins has obviously been sold, and you've replaced with a good striker and Ivan Toney. So, yeah, I think your squad probably collectively has probably learned a lot from last year going into this year, don't you, Andy?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, certainly have. Yeah, I think Ivan's going to score the winner in my head. So, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed he gets it. But I think, yeah, like you say, I think this time around, they'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. Dan, we'll come to you, Dan McGee. What's different about this year going into this one?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Out of the 2 years, if you ask me which year did we deserve to go up more, was it last season's or this season's? I'd say it was last season's. I think this season we're more experienced. We know what needs to be done. We know how to overcome certain feelings and don't let our heads get down. I think it was a lack of experience what affected us last season, and I think that's the main difference this season, especially with a lot of the young players like Brian and Buemo or Matthias Jensen. When their heads went down, you could really see it affecting their style of football. You know, but I think this season we've got a lot more of it. We've got a lot more experienced players. We've got great leaders. Ivan Toney, Janelt, Vitaly Janelt, Pontus Jansson, Henrik Dalsgaard. But even without those players on the pitch, we have great leaders within the team. I think that's the main difference about this season and last. I really do think I do think it's our year this year, because if anyone deserves to go up out of those top four, out of those 4 teams, it's got to be us. And I think a lot of people tip us for it. Like I said, I think it's going to be a close game. I see Pontus Jansson scoring his first goal for the Bees, because in an interview about a month ago, he did say, "I will score when it matters. When it matters the most and it's the right time, I will score." Whether that's just an excuse, I don't know, but I'm hoping it's for Saturday.
Yeah, I think if any games, you know, an important one, it has to come on Saturday for him. Danny May, obviously being a Borough fan, you've been in the playoffs and you know, nearly on your way back to Promised Land, and you know what it's like going into these games. How did Brentford cope with this one? You know, how did they go into it? How do they prepare for it?
Well, for me, they just do the same old. You know, Brentford haven't feared anyone this season. They've been top side, and like I keep saying, they are where they are because of the performances, their consistency throughout the season. But yeah, I mean, for Dan's sake and Andy, I hope they do it. I really do. You know, I've been there. I've seen us get beat by Norwich, and it's not a nice feeling. So, and like I say, they've been close for so many past few seasons, and it's now to just get up there and give them a taste of what it's like.
Yeah, and for me personally, you know, being a Derby fan, I think I've noticed more lows than highs going into the playoffs. You know, we lost in the final to QPR with that Zamora moment. We lost to Villa. And, you know, Derby and playoffs probably just aren't the best duo that you could possibly match up, because we'd be better off just going up automatic than playoffs, because, you know, we bottle it when it comes to these. Andy,
Yeah.
for this game, you know, this is really the time for Tony to show what he's all about. You know, he's scored 31 goals, is it, this season? And we've all seen what a class player he is. But if he's to really show what he is, this has got to be his time to shine above all the rest, surely.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, he's had a great season. He's a great player. Well, they all are at the moment, but I have never seen a Brentford player in a Brentford shirt take a penalty as calm and as relaxed as he does. I mean, I don't even know how he does it. He takes 2 steps. That's it. Wallet. It's in. The power he gets behind that ball when he lets his foot go. I mean, it's unreal. He don't even run up to the ball. But, you know, we get a pen on Saturday. Wow. He ain't missed none yet. I don't want to put the mockers on him, but, you know, I think he'll bury it. You know, hopefully he's burying it. But, you know, I like the guy. He's great. Great guy for Brentford.
Just hope he doesn't take a penalty. Just hope he doesn't take a penalty like David De Gea did last night.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, I don't think Brentford have ever been in the Premier League. They might have been in Division 1, maybe, but I don't know what the situation is. But how much would it mean to go to the Premier League and Promised Land, Andy?
Oh, well, I ain't sleeping much as it is. You know, if we got in the Premier League, I mean, Jesus, it's a dream come true. It's all our Christmases come at once. It really is. I mean, there's so many Brentford fans out there who I know, like, there's just, everyone's buzzing for it. They can't wait for Saturday to come. I mean, the sun's out as well. It's going to be nice down here. It's going to be a lovely weekend. A lot of us are all off work for a long weekend because it's Bank Holiday Monday. So if we've all
It'd
got a
make
bit
the
of
perfect
hangover,
weekend.
yeah. I mean, we've got a couple of days to recover before we all go back to work on Tuesday. So it's, I'd love them to do it this weekend. You know, it's icing's on the cake. It's meant to be. It's got to be. You know, they have to do it this time round. Fingers crossed.
And if Brentford were to get promoted this weekend, do you think that you'd be able to put up a good fight in the Premier League, or you know, what do you think you need to spend a lot, or?
Well, I think they'll have to obviously get 3 or 4 players in, but I'll take, as long as we end up our first season in the Premiership above third from bottom, I'll take that all day long. I'll be happy with that for our first season all day long. You know, just to survive in the Premiership, because I've followed them for years. I mean, I'm going back to the old days of the 4th Division, watching Brentford with the 3,500, 4,000 crowds on a cold, wet Tuesday night. You know, just where we've come from there to even to be in the Championship was a dream for me come true. But just to go this other step, wow, you know, it'd just be a night, you know, it'd make everyone's dream come true, I think, to get into the Prem.
Yeah, and I think obviously with you following Brentford for so long, and you've been through highs and lows, you've seen a lot, and I think getting to the Prem would just, you know, basically mean that you've completed pretty much everything then.
Yeah.
Dan McGee, what would it mean to get to the Premier League? And, you know, if you were to go up, how do you think you'd do next season? Do you think it'd be a case of you coming straight back down, or do you think, you know, you could shock a few?
Like Andy was just saying there, I mean, I remember in League Two, Division 4, sorry, you know, the likes of 4,000, and, you know, not having anybody there. And, you know, I can totally agree. The dream was get to the Championship. And when we did, it was like a dream come true. And if somebody said to me, give it a few more years and you'll have the chance to get to the Premier League, I'd snatch it out of the round straight away. Like, and I think this means a lot more to me than what just football does. It means, because my old man was taking me for about 20 odd years, right? And we wouldn't miss a match. We'd go to every home game and to some away games. And he left for Australia a couple of years ago. And that's why last season meant so much to me, wanting us to go up, if that makes sense. But you know, if we go up this season, like I said, it means more than just football to me. You know, it's a dream that me and my old man that have shared for a long, long time. We always said, like, look, this is going to happen. It's going to be great if we do. You know, going into it next season, if we do get to the Premier League, we've shown our worth against Premier League teams like Newcastle, West Brom, Fulham. I know them both are relegated, but even Spurs, we didn't roll over and let them, you know, we put up a good match. We really did. And I do think that if we keep our players, replace a couple and add some brilliant talent in there, like I know we always do, I'm not being funny. I don't see why not. We can't finish the top half of the table.
Yeah, and I think you know you've proved your with your recruitment team what you can do. You know, replacing Ollie Watkins with Tony just shows one of many things you can do, and your recruitment is top class. You know, getting 33 million for Watkins and then only going for a cheaper option. You've shown what you can do, and I think in the future that will pay off in a good way for you. Dan May, we'll come to you next. If Brentford were to go up this Saturday, how do you think they will get on next season in the Premier League? Do you think there'd be a walk in the park, or do you think they could shock you?
No, I don't think it'd be a walk in the park. But I think the squad they've got at the minute would probably see them just survive, in my opinion. But you know, just adding the extra bit of quality, you know, probably a bit of experience in there as well. wouldn't go amiss for them. You know, a bit of Premier League experience. And if they can sign a few decent players, you know, there's no reason why they can't finish, you know, in 13th, 12th, 13th, 14th, you know, and that would be a good first season for them, you know, to finish in that sort of region. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited for Brentford and the Brentford fans to see how they're going to get on as well. You know, football's a strange game. Things can happen. And like Dan said, I don't think that he thinks there's no reason why they can't get in the top 10 if they make a few good signings. But, you know, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, definitely. And I think next season will be a lot more different with the fans being back, you know. I think a lot of teams have massively missed the 12th man, and I think that will show when fans return come August time. But finally, let's go round each person and just ask for a quick preview on Saturday and your score prediction. So, Andy, we'll come to you first, mate. What do you think going into Saturday, and what do you think score prediction will be?
Well, I think they'll be up for it. I'm going Brentford 3-1. I had 3-1 against Bournemouth at home, 20 quid on it. Come in, but I cashed out with 10 minutes to go, so I bottled it because I thought it was going to get a fall. So I'm going 3-1 Brentford.
Yeah. Dan McGee, preview and a score prediction.
I think we're going to win 1-0. It's going to be a very close game. It always is against Swansea. Either it depends what Swansea team turn up. If they don't turn up ready to play, we'll walk all over them. Then yeah, I can quite easily see a 3-1, 4-1 result. But I assume Swansea will turn up to play. I can see it being a 1-0 win. Whether it be a Tony penalty, a Sergi Canos screamer from outside of the box, or Pontus Jansson with his first goal, it's going to be one of those scenarios. Or David Raya scoring a volley from the halfway line. It's going to be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I've said my score prediction for this game. I don't know why I've said it, but every time I've been asked, I've gone with the same score prediction, so I'm going to stick with it. Because if it does pay off, then, you know, I'll be happy. I've said a 2-2 draw in normal time, and I think Brentford will win 3-2 after extra time. Dan, mate, your score prediction and a bit of a preview.
I don't think Brentford will walk it, to be honest. I think it'll be a 2-0 win. There's not the consistency of Swansea, and you know they haven't got the determination, the guts, the desire to win games as much as Brentford have. So yeah, I'm going for a 2-0, possibly a 2-1. But I think Brentford will just outplay them most of the game.
Yeah, definitely. Has anyone else got anything they'd like to add to the podcast? Because we have pretty much wrapped it up. So if anyone's got anything else they'd like to add.
Nothing from me.
Right, so personally, I'd like to wish Dan and Andy all the best in Saturday's final.
Yeah, all the best, boys.
I really do
Thanks
hope
a lot,
you get
guys.
your time and your time to the Premier League. And yeah, thank you to you all for coming on. If you're listening, thanks for listening. Make sure you do leave a like. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're on YouTube. Join our groups, All Leagues Absolute Football Banter Group, Championship Absolute Football Banter Group, and like the page Absolute Football Banter Group. You know, they're all good groups. You can come and have a laugh and a discussion. Subscribe to Dan McGee's YouTube channel. Dan McGee, he does music, but he could possibly be doing a vlog for the final on Saturday. So if you want to see that, go and subscribe to his channel. My channel's Tyler Tarft. If you want to subscribe to that, I'm a Derby fan. And yeah, thanks for coming on, boys.
No, appreciate
Thanks
it.
very much.
Take care, lads.
Cheers, lads.
Bye now.